Hey guys, so just to catch up here, we're getting close to being finished here. So we've changed the pull start, fixed it I should say, changed the Bendix spring, adjusted the valve or the valve gaps, that's the word I'm looking for. Fixed the shifter rod here, and it was basically just missing a nut down there, which was causing it to have a lot of play. Also changed the boot on the spark plug, changed the speed sensor for the speedometer here, so that is now working. And to have the four-wheel drive working, you have to have the speedometer working, so everything's good there. Clean the carb. It was a little clogged, not a ton. Now, we also had 70% water in the gas tank, and I figured out why. There was a crack around the nozzle here, which I'm guessing because he left it outside. The snow was melting in it, the rain was going in it. That's why all the water. So I have put some epoxy around the outside. I'm just gonna put a little more around the back here, or front, whatever way you want to look at it. Now it is solid, but I noticed it was cracked, and that's when I really, took a good look at it and realized that's why. So this stuff is like hard as nails. I also got some other plastic, JB Weld Weld, I think it's called, to put in there over top and around this other side. So that will definitely seal it up, and there won't be any more water leaking in there. And I want to make sure this doesn't break off, because as I said in I think my first video, that these gas tanks, when they get old, they get brittle. So they do chip, they do crack, and to replace it, you're talking $400, $500 Canadian, or I think even American off eBay. So you want to be careful. Everything you're doing, dropping it, when you're working on your ATV, sit the gas tank aside in a safe place so it doesn't fall over and crack, because they do get brittle, especially when it's minus 10 out Celsius. Okay, so today what we're going to do is change the oil in here, and we're going to do a deep change. So this is just loose on here, so I can get at that fill cap. So we're going to change the filter, we're going to change the oil, but there's also I do believe in this version, another bolt in the bottom in the crankcase that holds a lot more oil that doesn't drain out. So you'll want to do that once in a while, but a regular maintenance of changing the filter and the oil, which is that fill bolt down there, should be good enough. So all right, we'll be right back and we'll get this oil changed. Stay tuned. Okay, I forgot one thing. We did notice that when I was checking the rear brake fluid, we realized there is none. So we're going to fill that up and clean before moving, because I believe the back brake works. Yeah, it works. So there must be just enough down there to make it work, and nothing extra. So we're just going to go ahead and fill that up there. And pump it a little bit, get the air bubbles out. And we'll put a little more back in here. once we get this bled. We'll have to keep an eye on that, make sure it's not leaking out somewhere. Okay, so we're going to use a 14 mil socket and take out the drain bolt in the oil reservoir here. It wasn't too tight, so maybe it's been changed. Tight. And we'll see how dirty this oil really is. It didn't look too bad when I tested it. No, that's black. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Okay, so we're just going to let that drain out. And then we'll pull out the oil filter here. And we'll hope that they didn't use some wrench. And we'll have to check something. Okay, so we're going to do the old-fashioned way because this was put on with a tool, a strap or something. So I'm going to pop a hole in it. Jeez. It's in there already. Put a little further in. There we go. Jesus. Ow. Right. Make sure you got something underneath to catch everything. And as you can see, that is black. Black. We're just going to let that drip out for a few seconds, and then we're going to look for the bolt underneath to drain the crankcase. Okay, so now we're on the right side of the machine, and if you can see in there, there is a bolt. So that is the drain bolt for the crankcase, and that holds a lot more oil down in there. So we're going to pull that off, make sure we have the drain basin underneath to make sure we don't get oil everywhere. No, that's rounding right off. Okay, so that nut has rounded off, so we're not changing that oil. So I guess the other alternative is just make sure you do a regular oil changes and to keep that circulating with the crappy oil at the bottom. But we're just going to change this oil. So we're going to put a new filter back on here and fill it up, and we'll be back. I believe it's 1 quart, but I will check. Okay, so we're abandoning the deep oil change. I'll be selling this anyway, so I just figured I would show, at least everybody knows where that bolt is on the other side. And if you want to fight with it to get it out, be my guest. But if other people have already tried to get it out and rounded off the edges, then you're kind of up that creek. So you're going to put this oil filter in, and of course before you screw it on, you're going to want to put a little oil around the rim. And let's see. And the drain plug is in nice and tight. So you're going to want to put a little oil around the rim, just so that gasket doesn't stick and bind up. And if that happens, then you will have oil leaking out of there. Some people pour oil in there before they put it in. Useless. It's not needed. So you're going to want to put it hand tight, and then you're going to want to do a quarter turn past that. That's good. That's it. It's got a rubber gasket. It's not going to fall off. So, you know, you shouldn't need a strap or tool to put these on. You really shouldn't. So, sorry, it just irks you when every time you go to take one off that somebody's put on, I don't know what they think they're doing, but it's on there. All right, so I'll just look up how much oil, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we looked it up. It's 1.9 liters. So we're going to get the funnel in there, up in there, and for 1.9 liters. And this engine is going to love me for this. And we are right on the money, just below the full, just a hair below the full. So we'll leave that and we'll run it, and then we'll check it again and add some more. So we want to start it up for about 20 seconds or so, shut her down, and give it another try. Okay, so we're just going to start her up for 20 seconds or so, just to circulate that through the engine. Okay, shut her down and we'll test it again. See what she looks like. So you can see how much darker that oil got because it circulated through the bottom. If I were keeping this, I'd probably change it again in like a week or so, just to clean that right out. There we go. Perfect. Right on the money. Okay, and on another note, I found where this breather hose went. It goes on to the breather box. I thought it was a breather hose. So, it goes on there. We'll get that from underneath, I think. And come up through here. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up a little bit, and I'm going to work on the gas tank lid, or the gas tank itself. I'll be right back. Okay, so we got JB Weld, plastic weld. I've used this stuff before, and it's solid as iron, really. It's very good. So the way you use this, twist it open. They say to squeeze a little bit out, wipe it. So then you make sure that you're getting the correct 50-50, and then start using it from there. But just get rid of the top part. But I'm just going to put it in, and then we'll go over to, you mix it for, what does it say? It says mix it for at least 1 minute, and then make sure you put it on within 5 minutes. So hurry, hurry, hurry. So lid comes off just like that. Squeeze some in this little receptacle here. And I'm not too worried about using a lot, because I want to make sure this holds very well. And so I'm going to cut that off and put this back on. And hopefully that doesn't turn solid as a rock. And you mix for a minute. Make sure you mix the outside stuff, get it all. I'm guessing you don't want to get this on your hands, or in your eyes, or your ears. Maybe on someone's mouth, not sure. And mix it really good. And then we're going to bring it over here. Get this on the back side here. And try not to get any on the outer plastic. Like that. So we're going to get it down in there. And if I get this down in there. Doing a super sloppy job here. The reason why I don't want to take this plastic off is because that's what caused it to ruin as much as it did. Because getting the plastic on is not easy. You have to force it. And I'm just going to put that like that. And I'm not going to touch this plastic at all. So I'm going to put something under there to make sure that that doesn't fall. Okay guys, I'm going to do a little piece of this project inside here. So this is the floor, or the footwell, that I'm going to be repairing. So it had a patch on it, and it was just, I don't know. So it looks like there was a patch here, or a repair here in the past, and it's actually a really good. It's must have sanded it down and everything. So for this, there's a crack, there's some holes, there's the piece that goes on. So what I'm going to do is a few things. I'm going to use a plastic welder. It's almost like a plastic staple. And I don't know if anybody's seen these before, but it heats up, and I'll show you, but it uses these staples and they actually melt into the plastic and hold it together. So, and then I also have lots of replacement plastic to fill in the holes, fill in the crack. So I'm going to try to make this as solid as possible because it is your footwell. You know, it takes a lot of abuse. And I'm also going to use the plastic weld again, JB. So I'll probably finish up with this. I'll probably start with the staples to hold everything in place and then melt in the plastic replacement. Get it nice and solid and then finish up with the glue at the end, you know, back into the crack. That should hold it. It looks like one of the cracks or the repairs is letting go over here. So I'm going to fix that back up. And okay, so first step is the staples. So we'll get to that first. Okay, so we're going to start with just tacking this. It's almost like what you would do with welding. You know, you just tack it to get everything in place. And you're using this, so it's got this little staple here that heats up just like an element. Looks like a toaster element or something. And when you hold the trigger, it gets super hot. Unfortunately, the cord is very short, so I'm gonna have to move this over here. Okay, so I will squeeze this in place and let it get warm. And put it on there and you'll feel it and see it just melt in. Let it cool down for a second, and didn't go in far enough. Okay, let it cool down. And I guess because this is a harder plastic, it takes longer to cool down, so you gotta let it sit. And you pull out, and then you just got the two elements sticking out. And it looks like that did not go in far enough. And yes, this stuff does stink. Okay, we're gonna need a few of these. I used this on a different plastic and it went hard almost immediately, so you could pull it out almost right away. Let's see, even though I held it that long, it still wanted to come out. And so I use this little rubber container that I got with a previous one. You gotta try to make it even, 50-50. And mix it really good. If you don't mix it, it will not go hard. So you gotta make sure you get all the stuff from the outside, or else you'll get some that sticks, some that does not. Okay. So we'll flip this up. And try to get a view here. Okay, so we're just going to let that side dry, and we'll be back when it's cured. Okay, so it's not quite dried. Like I said, you might want to leave it for a couple of days before you put any kind of weight on it or anything like that, but I just wanted to show a couple of things. Right now, it's really noticeable. Once you restore it a little bit with some WD-40, which I don't want to spray on that yet, but you can see that the colors are going to match up pretty well, so you won't even see those lines. But like I said, I don't want to spray it on there anywhere near here for a day or two. I want that to set properly, dry, solid as a rock, and then we'll see it on the ATV when it's all done. The other thing is the staples on the back side. So with this little kit, you even get side cutters. So again, I'm not going to do these all right now because I really do want these to go solid as a rock. I don't want to adjust anything. So you just cut them off and try to catch where they go because it just went flying. But it's right down to the level, so we're gonna let that dry for a day or two, and then I'll snip all those off, and when I put it on the ATV, I'll show a video of that so you guys can see the final product of how much better it looks. And believe me, it may not look like it, but it's solid, and it's only going to get harder. So technically, with this glue and these staples, this part's probably going to end up being more solid than over here. All right, we'll catch you on the other side when we put it on. Good morning, guys. Afternoon, I think it is now. Okay, so today's the day we get to put her together. So we're going to put all the plastics back on, shine her up, and make sure everything's running good still, and take her for a test drive tomorrow morning. So we'll take her in the snow and see how she does. Runs amazingly, actually. Smooth, idles good. And I did a brief video about the disappointment here, but watch my other video, and short and long of it, I dropped it and it cracked. The glue cracked. Yeah, so disappointment, but this is exciting. We get to put her together. It's been a bit of a road getting everything together, power washing it, and could still use a good cleaning afterwards, but we want to make sure everything runs good. So we're going to put her together. See, I didn't spray this one, so it's just all crusty. It's older. I think this is a glue. plastic a tiny bit. There we go. And that look 100 times better. It's like melted. Okay. Okay. I think we're just about done here. Got it all shined up. Got looking 1,000 times better than it did when it walked in here. I gotta tighten that up still. There's a couple spots here and there that I haven't seen, but looks good. So I'd like to get a top cap for that. I'll have to look on Marketplace for somebody parting out. And I'd like to get this. I have inquired in a couple places, including ATV 519, I think it's called. They don't have any currently. There's people parting them out, but they're 5-hour drive from here, 4-hour drive from here, so I'm definitely not going to drive that distance just to get that. I'll keep an eye out. Gas tank seems to be holding up well. The epoxy I put in there, good thing I didn't use the other JB Weld. Who knows? Okay, so that's looking good. Way better. Everything's looking good. Tires are in good shape. They don't look that old. And just a little bit of a walk around here. I did order these, but they're taking forever to get here, the rubber grommets. Guess because it's Christmas, so things are taking forever, even with Amazon. So, other than that, I think we're good to go. Let's try to fire it up. Turn the gas on. Choke. Sounds great. Sorry guys, battery died there. So, as you can hear, just adjust the idle a little bit. Everything's working. Still got to put a couple screws in here, I think. Get that to sit solid. Okay, so let's just recap a little bit just to finish it up. And then I think the next time you see this will be tomorrow. And we'll be taking her for a test drive. I think it should work fairly well. Hopefully it doesn't break down in the middle of nowhere. So what we've done, let's fix the shifter so it shifts gears now. We'll see that even better tomorrow. Fix this had a patch on it, so I have glued it, and you can see the JB Weld crack right there. but the rest of it seems to be holding up very well. It's solid. We adjusted the valves. We cleaned the carb, which was clogged. I think just one jet was clogged in there. We changed the speed sensor, which then makes the speedometer work perfectly now, and which also means that the all-wheel drive works. The gas tank cracked, and because it had 70%, at least 70% water in the tank. So I don't know how long it's been like that. He stored it outside, so I don't understand how things run with that much water in it. And so I guess the water was getting in around here, going into the tank. Maybe he would shake it up and it would mix the water with the gas, but I don't know. It's a mystery, that's for sure. We changed the oil in it. So the engine's definitely going to be thankful for that. We put some brake fluid in, front and back were bone dry, and they're nice and solid now. We changed the grips. Now, I do have one issue, so I didn't realize until now. I'm learning. This sits here, so I can take this, move it back in a tiny bit, or I can cut this off. You know, maybe that's what I end up doing, is just cutting this off. I don't really want to do that, but, and I mean, you can still push it. It's just bending that. Live and learn. Other than that, she runs amazingly. Drove down the street, drives perfectly, and everything is working as it should. That's amazing. So, good bargain, I think. So I'll probably be putting this up for sale and then use it to get my next project going. And okay, so that's just about does it. I think I'm going to work at taking that plow mount off. If I can. It may not come off. It may be part of this. Some people weld things on. Other than that, you guys have a great weekend, which might be over by the time you see this. And enjoy the video coming up. Don't turn away, because we're going to test drive this in the snow tomorrow. And I'll add this to the video. So have a great day, guys. And remember, like and subscribe, please. Keep the channel going. Keep learning. Hopefully some people learn something on this. You know, just because it's old and tired, don't throw it away. You know, unless you want me to buy it off you and fix it up to be a nice looking machine. This has got more years ahead of it, more use. You could use it as a beater for plowing in the winter, anything. It's still perfectly fine. And somebody was done with it. All right. Peace, guys. Have a great day.
Good.
Are you getting tired, Mavi? Are you getting tired? Stuck there. Okay, we're back in the layer here with the Polaris 400. Just got back from, as you guys seen, the snow wheel in there. That was a blast. My test pilot, my son, definitely likes to be the test pilot for everything, but I did manage to take it out and wrestle right away from him for 5 minutes. Works amazing. 2 feet of snow, plowed right through it. Even though, you know, they're good tires, but they're not snow tires. They're not big paddles or nothing like that, you know. Everything worked flawless. The 4-wheel drive, brakes, shifter, everything. It looks great. It looks great. Runs great. Definitely happy with the turnout. Other than that, I guess that's it. Thanks for you know, staying tuned with the 4 episodes there. Anybody who's watching, we'll have to keep our eyes on Facebook Marketplace, see what the next fun is. Never know. Could be ATV, dirt bike, snowmobile, whatever, you know, and we'll have some more fun learning, you know. We learned about this stuff. JB Weld, good for a lot of things, maybe not so much to drop. You know, keep an eye on your gas tank. Make sure it's not, especially if it's getting older. Be very careful with it. They're brittle, and if you look up a lot of part outs, the gas tank's one of the first things that people grab because I guess they crack. I'm learning that, so be delicate. But that's pretty much the end of this, guys, and thank you so much for watching, and subscribe. Keep the channel growing. We'll see more and more fun out in the snow, out in the bush, and more fun tearing these suckers down. See what makes them tick. Learn each, you know, every single one is different. Every brand, every make is got little differences in the engine. So hopefully it helps some guys that are tearing into them. Don't be afraid to tear into it. What's the worst that can happen? All right, guys. Have a great day. Peace.